Good morning, Thomas MacLaren School. It is my privilege to honor this year's senior boys. What impresses Mr. Hansen about you senior boys is your tenacity, grit, and humility. After you all finished the Fine Arts Night recording on April 23rd, you wanted to re-record a piece because you knew you could do better. Mr. Hansen says so many seniors have been faithful, putting in effort in an area that may not have interested them initially, only to discover that they have fallen in love with the beauty they can create playing. You arrived to studio art with enthusiasm to explore creative freedom, which requires courage, awareness, planning, and thoughtfulness. Miss Burrell says, these young men are just that. Their compassion and love for each other brings the classroom to a level of beauty that nurtures creativity to the highest degree. Your modern language teachers praise you for your creativity and individuality in your work. Ms. Kimlicko writes, I was proud of the effort they maintained all semester. They all persevered through the end of the semester. Mr. Morgan was amazed by his Greek students' translations, which he says rivaled graduate student work. Mr. Lilly says academically, you all came alive in the 3D section when everything in calculus came together. You explored new topics as a community. You were in it together. For Mr. Lilly has been impressed by your remarkable growth at MacLaren. This last semester, you have explored things together just for the joy of learning something different. In HL, Mr. Von Beck recalls how the Alphas were enraptured by the scene in the Inferno with Farinata. And he remembers how stunned you all were when you read Rousseau's description of the legislator, as you recognized the gravity and implications of the legislator's role, with some exclaiming, wait, what? What? The betas were stunned to silence several times by the literature. Whether it was the final lines of The Dead, or the ending of A Small Good Thing, or the exquisite passages of Rufus's memories in A Death in the Family. In addition, they grappled with Descartes and Montaigne, visibly distressed and worked up about the problem of the senses. You senior boys found creative ways to build community in a year of restrictions. The Alphas developed the circle game. Ask a question to get to know each other better, and everyone had to participate. The Alphas put up a mini holiday tree as well, whose ornaments included a Best Buy gift card, a $1 bill, a student parking pass, a soy sauce packet, and 10 bags of Doritos. They also spearheaded the spike ball craze that has hit MacLaren. The betas were renowned for their record streak of doing seminar outside, no matter the weather. Howling wind or snow did not deter them, and a couple sleeping bags helped. The betas exchanged gifts of Lego sets last December. Additionally, they tracked the following information on the whiteboard: days without pants rippage and days without giving an onion. You all are generous as well. When I made a call to have more senior boys participate in the Big Brother program, many volunteered. 2 of you also came up with the idea for the talent show. Several led your athletics teams this year, including at the soccer state championship. Several seniors anchored that team, and other seniors were in the stands leading the student section with cheers. 4 of you beautified our campus by building soccer benches, picnic tables, and chairs. What's interesting about all of this is 2 years ago, I remember asking you all what you thought about participating in a new Big Brother program where you could build more community throughout the school. Many of you hemmed and hawed, saying you had so much going on between work, school, club, sports, you just weren't sure you could do it. But now, you have become enthusiastic clan leaders, delighters of philosophy, aesthetically sensitive artists, talented musicians, and lovers of learning. You have come to love this community and to know how wonderful it is to love something greater than yourselves. Earlier this year, a group of you were talking about how far your class had come, remembering how you had the reputation as the worst class here. One of you said, guys, I'm just so proud of you all. I'm proud of us for making it this far. This same senior later told me, "It's amazing to think back where we were in sixth grade. I don't think we could have imagined how much this education would change our lives. It makes me tear up." Senior boys, as you share these final weeks together, I want you to savor the memories. Dwell on the times you've shared, the classes that have caused you to question and come alive and become more fully human. Treasure these moments of generosity, kindness, and learning. Store these memories away, for as it says in one of the texts you read this year, you hear a lot said about your education, yet some such beautiful, sacred memory preserved from childhood is perhaps the best education. If a man stores up many such memories to take into life, then he is saved for his whole life. I speak on behalf of all your teachers when I say it was a joy and pleasure to teach you, to be in class with you, to know you, and to see you come more and more awake and alive to the world. Thank you.
Good morning, MacLaren. I am delighted to be able to honor the senior girls today. One day, last August, I walked up to the upper field during high school lunch. It was hot, and not a lot of classes were up there. The 12th grade Girl Alpha's A cohort were one of the classes that had braved the heat, and they were doing it with style. They all brought camp chairs from home. They were lounging on the chairs. Some of them were wearing hats, surveying the field from their designated square like there was no better place to be at that moment. That picture has really stuck with me this year. When I think about you all, it is tempting to be overwhelmed by all of the ways in which your senior year was messed up by COVID. It's a long list. However, the image of the camp chairs on the upper field is just the first of many examples of how you found creative ways to live in this moment and find and appreciate the good each day had to offer. When I think of clan life, which did not afford much chance for senior leadership, I think of the eagerness with which many of you volunteered for Big Brother, Big Sister, and how you made the most of your one field day, visiting each grade in search of your clan members. When I think about Leisure Day, where you had no choice in your classes, I think about how many of you expressed appreciating getting to do a leisure day with your own class and your own teachers, and that there was some extra restfulness in having everything just come to you. You found real joy in your Shakespeare characters and took pride in making those plays all they could be, even those of you who were disappointed about not getting to do a modern play. The lone 4 of the 12G Alpha's B cohort stuck it out for a semester and have some really beautiful friendships to show for it. After losing their bathroom pass, the Alphas created their own, a glittery communist manifesto themed one. There were a number of days when I entered the beta classroom and walked to my desk over what I chose to think of as a red carpet made from the outdoor mats. The Alphas welcomed our first ever service dog to the school. The betas are shockingly good at fitting a card game in between classes. Last week, one of the Alphas brought in little graduation stuffed animals for everyone. A few weeks ago, one of the betas brought metallic spoons for her class. While you were great at finding ways to bring life into difficult situations, you were also thriving as learners. Mrs. Rahman is proud of all you invested in physics and the ways you supported each other. Miss Rilling recalls the Alphas eagerly showing her the batteries they had made when they finally worked. I have heard, with much excitement, from the betas about their final physics presentations. And they move quickly from summarizing for me right back into discussion amongst themselves, trying to understand it better. You took seriously the work of contending with different political philosophers, even if you were sure you disagreed with them, because you recognized the importance of the questions they were trying to answer. Miss Rilling reports how moved the Alphas let themselves be by a small good thing. Mrs. Hall notes how often HL conversations would spill over into lunch. Her delight in this helped her to bear and hopefully understand the times when math would spill over into HL. I have so loved being your math teacher. For some of you, 4 times. I am moved by how consistently you are just ready to think. No matter what new question I bring to class, you were ready to pursue it. You've really learned how to be in conversation with one another, to bounce ideas off of each other. The ease with which you now correctly and helpfully reference level curves shows how much the 3D world captured your imaginations. You did some of the hardest parts of group theory with me teaching from home over Zoom, and we still had excellent conversations. You have grown out of asking, why do I have to learn this? Or when will I ever use this? You don't obsess over grades. You are engaged in class because you believe the things you are learning are interesting, fun, important, and exciting. I see genuine love of learning in all of you. It does not show itself in the same way. You all delight in things differently, with different levels of physical animation and volume, but there is not one of you whose mind is not awake to the world and its wonders. Amidst many quarantines, teachers zooming in, only seeing teachers a couple days a week, you all have taken charge of your education in a way that leaves us excited for all of your futures. As Mr. Hansen put it, it impresses me that they are getting through this trying year together and with a sense of purpose and dignity. Their ownership of the year has been a profound example to me of the humanizing value of the MacLaren experience. Ladies, we are so proud of you and so excited for you. Congratulations.